Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to the Flying Fluffy Hockey review of the Panthers 6-3 loss to the Lightning night in Game 4, and also the Bruins. The Bruins took Game 4 against the Maple Leafs. Let me pull up the score real quick. The Bruins beat the Maple Leafs 3-1 yesterday and took a 3-1 series lead. The Islanders beat the Hurricanes 3-2 in double overtime and kept their season alive for at least one more day. And the Stars beat the Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime to finally win a game and cuts Vegas's series lead in half.
That's it, I quit.
Nah. Bolvar says at least the Leafs lost, so yesterday was somewhat salvageable.
Oh, it just wasn't even a good game, the Bruins Leafs games. All right, I'll be up here in a few minutes.
Okay. So yeah, the Panthers gave up a power play goal, a 4-on-4 goal, and a shorthanded goal, all in the same damn period. Our special teams was abysmal last night. Of course, it doesn't help that we wouldn't stop taking penalties. Miss Lele says, that's some kind of weird hat trick. If it says, do you guys think it's Stamkos and Reinhardt will get along when they're both signed by the new Utah team? Only half joking. Well, the Panthers just gotta win Game 5. Back on home ice. Let's see. The Leafs were the real losers though. Last night, I mean, dropping both games at home to Boston. Boston yet again finds itself with a 3-1 series lead headed back home for them. So maybe the Bruins won't blow that lead this time. Also, that is two different series that could have ended yesterday, but they did not. And also, the Golden Knights could have gone up the series, but the Stars won in overtime. Good morning, True. How you doing? Bover says Toronto is on fire and they are deeply screwed. Yeah, I mean, you have the Maple Leafs. It wasn't even like they were playing a tough competitive game against the Bruins and coming up short. It's it was just bad last night. Like the Leafs put up less of an effort against the Bruins than we did against the Lightning. Mike says, "Look who honestly thought Florida was going to sweep Tampa, who still has elements of a championship roster. Some fans got to take a chill pill." Yeah. Bolvar says, "The Rangers are sweeping. I'm not even afraid to say it. The Capitals suck that bad." The feed has been a bit glitchy. Yeah, Carolina didn't even sweep the Islanders. I mean, Panthers just gotta. Panthers, in my opinion, just need to, do exactly what they were saying in the press conference after the game. Just regroup, get ready to play our game again. At home, in Amarant Bank Arena. Bolvar says, "Did you see the part where Sheldon Keefe said you can question many things tonight, but not the effort?" Jesus Christ! If Sheldon Keefe said that, then he's more off base from what the team needs than we thought. What I'm really curious though is, does Stolars get the start in game 5? Bob did not really look like his normal self. So, yeah, Panthers just gotta learn from their mistakes and not let Tampa completely dictate the play on ice like they did last night. Bolvar says he always says that, but that's not the point. That's the sound of a coach coaching for his life with his job on the line and failing bad. Mike says Stolars will not start unless Bob's dealing with injury. Hey Christian, how you doing? Let's see. Drew says Bob will start, but hopefully Maurice gives Stoli the nod if 2 goals get scored. Panthers put up 5 against Tampa Bay, one of the first 3 Cooper didn't even consider. Vazzy not starting. Maurice won't either. Well, Tampa's backup goalie is Jonas Johansson, for crying out loud. That's not really a fair comparison. I mean, Stolarz only has the best goals against average and save percentage in the league. Christian says Bob needs some rest because he didn't look like himself yesterday. Hey, Icy, how you doing? So, which the Lightning beating the Panthers and forcing Game 5 is not that surprising. What I would consider surprising, though, is the Islanders game. David says, how does Florida keep finding these amazing backup goalies? Hey, Fuffy. Good boy. Mike says, yes, but Stolarz, like Gaiden Hill, has no experience. We can't gamble on Stolarz unless we are forced to. Knights were forced to start Hill because of injury. Christian says, I wonder if we're going to bring Spencer Knight up or if we're going to leave him in the AHL, because if we're not going to use him, we should cut his contract already. Hey, Derek. Bolvar says, listen, I'm not going to talk major smack on the decision to rest the day before the game, but you took yourself out of your rhythm by doing that. Yeah, well, Panthers are... I agree with Derek. Panthers are up 3-1. Relax, people. Let's see. Star Center, Toronto Center, Austin Matthews did not finish Saturday night's Game 4 because of an illness, as the Maple Leafs fell 3-1 to the Boston Bruins. Toronto now finds itself on the brink of elimination in its first round playoff series with a must-win Game 5 on Tuesday in Boston. Coach Sheldon Keefe previously confirmed Matthews played through an illness in Game 3, and Matthews had been absent from multiple team sessions while recovering. It was more of the same in Game 4 when Matthews lagged 14 minutes and 16 seconds in ice time before not returning after the second intermission. It's all related to the illness he's dealing with, Keefe said, responding to a reporter's question on why Matthews didn't return for the third period. The doctors pulled him. Toronto has now lost 6 straight playoff games at home, a streak dating to the 1970s, and it's been outscored 21-11 in that stretch of home contests. The Maple Leafs have also scored 3 or fewer goals in 11 consecutive postseason games. Let's see. Bolvar says apparently Matthews had food poisoning. Mike says, one thing we've seen all year is a parade to the penalty box in more games than we'd like to see. They have to get disciplined. They have to get disciplined and still find a way to play their game. Bolvar says, listen, I'm not going to go after Nylander because he's literally played one game this playoffs. But yes, Mitch and Tavares not doing jack is the big sirens blare. Yeah, the Maple Leafs players were arguing with each other on the bench. Hey, look who finally showed up. Let me. Oh, and look, hey, Ray. I wasn't talking to you, Raven. I was talking to my dad.
Look who finally showed up, he says. This is the kid that slept for 4 hours longer than I did this morning, and he's got the nerve to say, look who showed up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it over yet? Did we already win game 5? Did I sleep through it?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, I'm losing you.
Hello, I'm right here.
Hold on, Kyle.
Hello. Now you're freezing up.
Yeah, we're freezing up. That's not good.
Okay. Yeah, your connection is bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back into it.
All right, well, my dad will try and join us again. Let's see. Anything interesting? All right. So, yeah, the Lakers won. They did not get swept last night either. Depending on which team you root for, you're either happy that LeBron is not getting swept or you're highly disappointed. Trey says that means the Nuggets are getting reverse swept, right, guys? Christian says Pelicans and Suns are the only teams left to get swept in the NBA. You're getting a broom. Dustin says Maurice seemed calm and loose. Didn't seem bothered by the loss except for the penalties we took. You trying to connect up there? Yeah, stay out of the box. They can't beat us 5-on-5. Like literally the whole first period was power play goal, shorthanded goal and 4-on-4 goal for Tampa. So our special teams was not good. Okay. Okay, I see you trying to join us, Dad. Okay, you got camera. I see camera. You want me to add you? Let's see. Christian says that's so funny about the Suns.
All right, well, let's see if this works.
Okay.
All right, maybe we'll get this. There goes.
In case you couldn't tell, we're in need of a little break today. Isn't that right, Dad?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Said, in case you couldn't tell, we both need a break today.
Yeah, we are both burnt crisp, and my internet and laptop are burnt crisp too. The internet is like, bruh. Oh man, yeah, Kyle and I are definitely. Does this just at what time y'all are streaming today?
No.
Let me turn the volume up a little bit. I can hardly hear you. Jeez, yeah, we're Kyle and I.
You just froze up again.
Getting this. All right, you know what?
I can't hear. Seriously. Okay, well, this is going fantastic. Oh. You're gonna try again? Icy says, guys, it's only round 1. Hey.
I'm trying to see if there's something wrong with this cord because it's not making any sense. We haven't had any problems with this. And you're are you getting that internet warning thing?
Yeah, right.
That's gonna be the internet, not us.
Christian says now you are glitching, Kyle.
I'm gonna shut this down and see if that helps, but I don't think it will.
All right. Mike says, one thing I cannot for the life of me understand is how Florida's pressure more penalties in this series. Hey, Dustin, thank you for the 2.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you. He says, take the day off, guys. Come back tomorrow refreshed. We appreciate that. Well, certainly there's no streaming games today.
Are you still getting that error message?
Okay, it's gone for now.
It's gone for now. Did it just leave like about 4 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you do? Oh, you turned off your computer?
Yeah.
All right, are we good? Are we good, chat?
I'll go upstairs and find out. No, see, it's still. We should not.
If the lottery was rigged, Bedard would be in Montreal.
We might just have to leave it on yours. I'm going to try one more time, and then I'm going to have to get a hold of. And because we've been having these glitches for a couple of days, they're doing all this work out by the post office on the internet cables, and I think they're fucking things up.
Okay, Icy says is a little A little better. Christian says it's much better. We're gonna try and make this work. Hmm. All right.
Let's see. Now, when I'm not at it, it's okay. Seems okay for now.
All right.
All right. I think we might be good because that main PC is hooked up to the one where the modem is wired in, and every once in a while it does help if I just turn off that. If I turn off that one, they're doing some kind of. I think they're putting in new cables about down by the post office, Kyle, because I've been seeing them digging along the road.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed the last 2 or 3 times I've gone to record in here, because this is the laptop I record with, that I've been getting that signal. But for now, we're okay. So let's do what we can before we both pass out.
All right. So in basketball, the Lakers avoided the sweeps. They actually beat the defending championship Nuggets.
Everybody avoided a sweep yesterday. So show of hands, and there goes the damn internet again. Or Stolars on Monday. I'm curious.
I'm not. I would probably pick Stolars.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I know they're not going to do it. They're probably going to play Bob, but certainly if we lose game, I would go with Stolars, but I don't think it's going to matter at this point. I think Maurice is going to go with Bob, and that's that. Right? You think Stolars is not playing unless Bob is injured? Yeah, I mean that's agree with that. What's going to happen? But nobody looked like themselves yesterday, so we'll just have to judge it by Monday. You know what I mean? But Monday, man, they can't be dicking around. They cannot leave anything to chance on Monday, because Tampa is not a joke of a team. They know how to win. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to be nervous as hell if that game is even close, which I know it will be. But they're going to have to come out and we knew Tampa was going to come out yesterday and play hard. I just got really disappointed with our effort. And I'm not blaming Bob, but I think we've kind of got used to, in those periods where we don't look so good, I think we've gotten used to Bob saving our ass and allowing. And then he allowed 3, and then that fourth one he allowed in the second period. That was kind of the nut cruncher, because we needed that save. But then of course the third one that we got, Vasilevsky, that was a weak one. When you get beat, on a wrist shot from OEL, So it was not the goalie's day yesterday, but we just need to come out Monday and just leave no doubt. Absolutely leave no doubt. And Adonis, is everyone confident we'll finish Monday? I mean, they're not the Leafs, Derek, yeah, no, I wanted Stolars after Bob gave up the second one yesterday. I wanted Stolars for that reason. Inside of that game to be a distraction and a kind of a wake-up call for the players. True, I don't think he's been in the playoffs before. I went to his page last night on the stream, and there was no category for playoff statistics. So, yeah, Mike, no, I understand that, which is really, the only reason not to do it, right? And I get it. I have no problem throwing Bob out there and letting him right the ship. And it's not like it was all his fault. But just I think that it once it got to 3-0, especially, maybe you just pull Bob and just to wake the team up. You know what I mean? So, but we'll go with Bubba. And now the other thing there is if Lomberg is healthy. I know Lorentz has played well, but I would like to see Ryan Lomberg out there. We need somebody that's going to answer to the hitting. Tampa was doing all over the ice. I mean, they were purposefully going out of their way to finish checks and to hit guys. And it just didn't feel like we responded the way that we normally would. I know Bennett is out and all that. You don't have Lomberg. You don't have Gadjevich. You know, we need somebody that's gonna keep that edge out there. And you know, they got physical with Lundell and it worked. That was disappointing. He was nowhere near as good yesterday. And so the hope is we can just take yesterday's game and throw it in the garbage can and finish this up on Monday. And then you got to figure now you kind of have to look at history. If you watch Dangle's video in terms of Boston and Toronto, every time Toronto gets down like this to Boston, they find a way to win game 5 and game 6. I'm all for that because if we could finish this on Monday, the one thing I know we don't want too long of a break, but the biggest thing we could use on one leg. I don't know if any of you are watching him when he's skating straight, he looks kind of like himself. But there was a few times yesterday where inside of the zone, instead of doing his normal moving around, he's really struggling with one particular motion with that knee. So he could use a week off and we could get it. And we win Monday and Toronto takes Boston to 7, which that'd be a miracle. But if they did, we would get a week off and Forsling could get some treatment on that knee because he did something. There's no way around that. He did something. And, you know, I'm sure that whenever the playoffs or the cup ends, whether we raise in the cup or whatever, it wouldn't surprise me if we hear that he needs some kind of procedure because he's on one leg, unfortunately.
So
go ahead, Kyle. You take the chat for a little bit.
Mike says, how about this, Jaws? The constant parade to the penalty box has them playing a little less aggressive. It's only natural for this to happen because St. Laurent's arm was going up if they breathed on the guy.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. We need to keep the game on 5-on-5. I mean, we even gave up a freaking shorty, so I can't complain about us not getting power plays. I just want the game to be 5-on-5. If they wanted to be 4-on-4 all night, I'm good with that too. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm sure that played a factor into it. Hey, at least we're not the Leafs. If anybody watched that Leaf game last night, Kyle, do you know what Sheldon Keefe said about the game last night?
I've heard that he said that you can question a lot of things, but you can't question our effort.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the effort level. Holy crap, right? Mike says you could use it. Yeah, well, that was a different story. That was very late in the playoffs. And unfortunately wasn't hurt. You know, maybe a week is a bit much, but we didn't play that way against Vegas because we got that week off. We played that way against Vegas because we were out of body parts. I mean, when the Vegas series started, Montour already had torn labrums. Ekman had already broken his foot. Then Kachuk, you know, that injury happened. Bennett's groin was in bad shape. So I'm thinking long before the finals, but if you can win this game Friday and somehow get 5 or 6 days off, it's kind of like, okay, we can just start the playoffs again in round 2. You know what I mean? You got to get Forsling healthy. I mean, I know it's wishing and dreaming, but That's a difference. I'm willing to take the chance of them being a little rusty in the first period of game one in the second round to get Forslings right,
Colin asks if we're streaming any games tonight. No, we're
No,
taking.
no, we are gonna. I'm going to sit in my chair and become a popsicle. No, I got work to do. I got editing on the other channel to do. I got to catch up on the Dolphins draft and all of that. But I need a night off from watching the games because got a little bit of nausea this morning, so I need a night off. We did the 2 games back to back yesterday. And it wasn't even. I don't want to say we didn't have any enjoyment, but the enjoyment was few and far between in the 7 hours of streaming that we did yesterday. Hey, Jeff, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, Mike, you say Forsling's fine. I mean, I'm watching him skate. He can skate in a straight line. But when he's not active around the play, he's lifting that. He's taking pressure off that leg. He's taking that leg off the ice, and he cannot push off with that leg. So I mean, I don't think he blew his knee out. Obviously, he dinged it. He dinged it pretty good to where I think a week would. But Forsling taking a week off is he'd be superhuman by the time the end of that week comes. So and Bubba too. But Bubba, let's not leave out Bubba out of that, right? Every other day, this will be 5 games. We don't have a 2-night break unless we get to game 7. If we get to game 7, we got bigger problems. I know there's a fine line between keeping Bubba, sharp and fresh. But generally speaking, during the regular season, if we run into the 4th or 5th every other night, you start to see your backup goaltender. And, Bob looked tired last night. And now that doesn't mean that I don't think he can. In fact, he even said in his post game, one of the things he talked about in his post game was let's just get some rest and then come back Monday. Now, if Bob says the word rest, okay, if Bob says the word rest, then that that's on his mind. So I suspect he's going to come back Monday and be a bastard again. So I'm not too worried about that. But a lot of people have asked if I thought Stolarz was going to get into a game. I mean, I don't think this is the one. I think if we give up another 6 points, if we give up another touchdown practically, then maybe you'd want to look at Stolarz in game 6. But I think you got to give, like I said last night in the recap, I'm going to change my mind 100 times between now and then. You know what I mean? But in the end, they're going to play Bob, and I think we'll end up winning that game. But we're going to have to. We can't be dicking around in the first period. We can't be dicking around in the second period. We got to play a full freaking game. And even the games we've won, we look like ass in that second period. I mean, yeah, we had a 3-0 series lead, but look at what it took. It was 1-goal games, and Bob had to make the best save in decades. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like we were wiping the floor with them. They wiped the floor with us all night. So we need to finish this because this is not Toronto. Yeah. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bob made that insane save, and I think we might have taken for granted just a little bit that it was easy to get a 3-0 series lead when the reality is much different. I heard that someone in the chat yesterday said their uncle had said, "I'm getting the Brooms out," and the guy was like, "No, that's a jinx." And
yeah, Tom sent me a short from somebody that made a YouTube short, and it was Panther fan, and he was real cocky about it, and he was saying that you're going to get swept. And I was like, man, That's bad juju right there. I said it then when I saw it. Metal, I agree with what you're saying. It's nice to have a 3-1. Just we need to finish this. You know what I mean? We need to finish this. Because if we lose again, then you guys are gonna have to start hearing me bitch about we could have played the Leafs again. Wake up, Kyle.
Florida's last 2 playoff series versus Vegas and Tampa, currently in combined 3 Stanley Cups between them. Panthers are getting the ultimate tests lately.
That's true. We didn't get to play the Capitals, Islanders, or Leafs. We'd probably still be up 3-1. I don't know if the way the Leafs are playing, we probably would have swept the Leafs. Hey, MJ, thank you, brother. Kyle,
MJ.
Thank you, MJ. Thank you, buddy.
MJ, yeah, I was wondering where you were last night, MJ. He says, hey, Jaws and Kyle, happy Sunday. Sorry I missed yesterday's game. Tough loss last night, but we'll get them tomorrow. Side note, what are your thoughts on the NFL draft? How would you grade the Dolphins?
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, MJ. I have to go back now and see everything we did. I watched, we saw the first, we streamed 2 games yesterday. So I don't know the rest. I mean, I know kind of what we did, but I got to go look at it. I guess we traded back and we took a running back, an offensive lineman, and a wide receiver. And I think Pacharo said we took a safety, but I haven't had a chance to really look at it. I'm going to do that today. When we're done here, I'm going to sit down on my chair, and I've got tons of stuff to catch up on. Any of you who are waiting for responses, if you sent me an email, that should happen today, unless I pass out at 7 o'clock. The other night I passed out at 8:30, man. Yeah. Trey, you say you love the Dolphins draft? All right. I'll have to take a look at it. I haven't heard too much complaining about it. So I'll try to not be jaded. You know what I mean? I'll try to not be jaded. Yeah. Did Fluffy wake me up early? To this morning, yeah. Yeah, how did you know, MJ? Like 6 o'clock this morning. I don't know what he heard or what he saw, but he jumped off of his bed and he had to go outside, and I thought maybe he had to go to the bathroom, and then he just stood there at the fence, bark, 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 bark. I mean, he didn't want nothing to do. And then he came in and he ran to the stairs like he was going to run up the stairs to run out the front door, and he's barking like crazy. But there wasn't anything there. I looked. It wasn't a bunny, a dog. There was nothing there. So, yeah. A lot of times, MJ, if he wakes me up at like 4 or 5, I don't mind that because he goes outside, takes a leak, comes back in, and then we get to sleep till like 7:30. But once he wakes up at like 6 and the sun's already out, that's it. I'm screwed. I got to get my coffee because he that's it. We're outside. Colin wants is it we want Stolar's time? No, I mean I think we all know we're going to go with Bob. I think it's at the point where I don't think anybody would be upset if we went to Stolar's. But I think the time to go to Stolar's would have been last night after it was 2 or 3-0. If he was going to do it just to wake the team up, I think that would have been the time to do it. So I have every confidence that Bob is going to snap back, and then not all his fault. The fourth one we could have used the stop there. That one hurt. But we'll move on. It's one game, and the other thing is with Tampa, they're not a bad. They've won cups. They're a good team. They're a proud team. They had lost 5 straight home games in the playoffs. I started really seeing that all over Twitter, and I was like, I mentioned it in the pregame. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be they're gonna be pissed tonight. I kept waiting for them to show up for a full game, and they didn't, and we didn't. We did. And that was the disappointing part. Was we pulled within one goal, but I don't know. It never felt it never felt. I didn't have confidence when we were losing by one goal that we were going to pull it off. You could kind of feel that Tampa was going to come out in that third period and take it to us like they did. What do we have? Like 3 or 4 shots?
Yeah.
We had like 3 or 4 shots in the third period. And did hit post a couple of times, right? Reinhardt hits the post. Lorentz beat him and hit the post. So, just as close as it was when Bob made the freaking save of the century there. But Monday's a different story. We can all sit here and be like, it's one game. We're fine. Don't need to gamble. We can all sit here and say that now because it's Sunday, and that's fine. But I tell you what, Tuesday morning, if the series is 3-2, my eyeballs be popped out of my head. Hey, MJ. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
He says, damn, Kyle, wake up. He says, I'd also like to point out so many Panther fans are panicking over one loss. It's like, relax, we have a 3-1 lead. We'll be fine. Don't worry. Yeah, if you see it on Twitter, the comments weren't so bad in the recap. And not what I saw at 6 a.m. when Fluffy woke me up. It didn't seem like I didn't see a lot of panicking there, but maybe on Facebook or on Twitter. Look, at least we're not the Leafs, right?
Yeah.
At least we're not the Leafs. I mean, we watched that game last night, and there were Leaf fans in the chat going, "This effort is horrible." And then the coach is like, "There's nothing wrong with the effort level." It's like, damn, right?
Yeah. Like, how bad does it have to be?
Right. Yeah, we think the Lord, we are not the Leafs. That is so true. That is so true, man. And I don't want to look forward, but if we draw Boston, that's sucker. That's not going to be easy. It's hard to tell. It's hard to judge Boston's play right now because the Leafs are just not fighting back.
Yeah.
It's like Boston is not having to bust their ass. They're going to come into the next series fresh, and they already got a week off while they're playing. MJ, yeah, I watched Angle's video. I got a giggle out of it, So, he was not happy with Samsonov on that goal, that 5-hole goal, and all of that. But we just got to take care of business Monday. That's it. And I want to see Ryan Lomberg on the ice. I hate that we have to take Lorentz off to do it. But somebody's got to bring the juju. Nobody was doing it last night, and Tampa was just smashing the crap out of us, And we just had no response. Go ahead, Kyle.
Dustin says Maurice on Lomberg. He was down pretty hard. It's going to take a couple of days to get his engine back.
So that means he ain't playing Monday. Okay. All right, well, then there you go. How about Gadjevich? Huh? I mean, he brings the smoke. Did we forget that dude's on the team? Right?
Well, I keep seeing people say that Lomberg should play tomorrow.
Well, we don't want him to have a relapse. Remember when Barkov came back and then he had like a 2-week relapse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, the other end to that is, what are we on? I mean, Monday, it'll be a week Tuesday since Bennett got hurt. So, TikTok on that as well. Not that I expect him to be back for game 5, but if for some reason we end up in 6 or 7 against this team, it's not impossible to think that he might, I love Lundell, and he did great in game 3, but last night they were able to body him off the puck, much like they used to be able to do to Barkov. So I'm not going to give up on Lundell because of that, because it took Barkov. I mean, it took him a few years to not get bodied off the puck. You know, Tavares took his lunch twice in the playoffs and in the play-ins. So Lundell will get there. He needs to put on 10 pounds.
Via Twitter.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. Somebody give Bennett their hand. Yeah, right? I don't think mine's going to do. Kyle, you got a spare hand? You're about the same size as him, right?
If I give him my hand, I can't go mow the grass.
Oh, we can sell it though. We can make a good penny off of that.
So Dustin says maybe coach means he's okay, but he needs to practice more to be in the lineup.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. John says, what did we get at best? 2 power plays in both games in Tampa, not acceptable. I think that's what it was. I think somebody said it was 10-2 in the 2 games in Tampa, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, and don't Owls has got a good point. Don't leave out Sergachev came back, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said last night, there's a lot of reasons that you could point to say that's why Tampa played so well. What's disappointing for me is that for a team that went through the whole thing last year, you know what I mean? I was disappointed with the effort level. They should know better than to go out there and play like that. But it is what it is. Trey says, let Lundell spend the summer with me working a wrestler and he'll never get pushed off the puck again. Right? And David, he says, I can't say enough. I really thought Sergei's career was over. Seeing him on the ice again, no matter the results, was a spirit booster. I mean, I'm shocked. Somebody had joked in a stream a couple of weeks ago that Sergachev was coming back. And then a couple Tampa fans were kind of like, he's not coming back. Are you crazy? So when they said he was in last night, I thought people were trolling me because I saw that injury and it's just like, how did he heal that fast? Fine, you know. Hey, John.
Hey.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank
Says
you.
Games 3 and 4 in Tampa, 11-2 in the power plays. Yeah, that's something else. I mean, that's a big disparity. Yeah, and I'm not, you know. And what's unfortunate is we had 2 power plays and in one of them they got a shorty. You know, that was just terrible. It was just that first period last night reminded me of the second period of Game 5 against Vegas, where just the wheels just all fell off the bus. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, 9-3 Vegas, exactly. Gator Tooth. That's how it felt. Because we went down, we were down 2-0, and then we made it 2-1, and then it was 3-1, and 4-1, 5-1. And I clocked out, man. I clocked out. Mike says, how on earth does Florida's pressure not amount to more power plays in this series? I mean, Tampa's being smart. They're not doing what they're calling. They're not really cross-checking as much. They're tripping us. I've seen in each game 2, 3, at least tripping calls, and they're not calling the trips. They called them in the first couple games. Remember, Lundell drew one for holding, but it was kind of like tripping. But Tampa, they're not going upper body. They're tripping us. And then we're just not getting the calls. And I mean, I just don't know what we have to do the best we can to just keep it 5-on-5. Yeah, Mike says the picks. Yeah, that's true. They're being very smart and sly about it. You know, they really are. And look, if the refs aren't going to call it, you know what I mean? If the refs aren't going to call it, they're going to do it, right? So, yeah, we're just gonna have to find a way around it. You know, it sounds crazy to be sitting here saying, disappointed we didn't get the sweep. You know, of course, I wanted to win Game 4, and I thought we'd do well. But when you think about sweeping Tampa in Tampa, what could have been Stamkos's last game in Tampa, I just didn't feel like that was fixing to happen. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, brother. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
He says the NHL is trying to protect Tampa Hamburger Hut. Oh, they're trying to protect. They're trying to protect Kyle and I. You know, because if the more games we stream, there's more super chats, the more bills I can pay this summer. Right, Kyle? The more games we stream, the less lawn mowing I make Kyle. Like, he's gonna fall asleep on the couch.
I'm awake.
Brian, no, that's the truth, Brian. That's absolutely the truth. You know, I hate to look at it that way, but you know, I mean, as long as we're going to win this series, I don't mind a Game 5. I'm not interested in Game 6. I'm willing to lose the money of not streaming a Game 6 or 7. I don't want 6 or 7 in this series because that would not be in our favor anyway, in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Five is fine. You know what I mean. But if that team beats us at home, then there's going to be all sorts of questions, and so I don't want to have those discussions. I really don't. I want us to win Monday. I want Forsling to get 4 days off. How about that? 4 days, not a full week. We're almost at 4 days anyway, because even if we win Monday and Boston wins Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you figure the series would be Friday. Would probably start Friday anyway, because Boston would have to travel. So we would have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. So even at that's 3 days off. Just get Forsling some treatment. Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, brother. Thank you, John.
Says Florida's winning the series. They needed the reality check. Bob will bounce back. We could definitely use Bennett back. It took a subpar Panthers and jacked up Lightning for them to win. Let's end it Monday.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for the $10, brother. And I agree with everything in exactly the way that you said that. That's and especially the Bennett part. I love Lundell. I do. You know, and maybe at 25, he needs a little bit of extra weight to be up there with the big boys on the second line if they're going to get physical with him. You know what I mean? And it's just that edge that Bennett brings. We need that. We can still win this series without him, but once we get to Boston, they're going to be pissed. I don't know if, we still have to win the series. Don't get me wrong, but Boston is going to be like, we're not going to let these suckers do it again. That's going to be a rough one, Boston. That there's no joke with that series there, All right, everybody. I think I'm going to let Kyle go to bed now. Poor Kyle. He's exhausted. It's either that or I think you keep freezing up on me. Go like this, Kyle. Okay. Then you're just exhausted is what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you for all the super chats. Genuinely, we really do appreciate it. We are going to take this one off, take this day off. We'll be back tomorrow. We will have a review tomorrow at noon. So we'll have a preview, right? And yeah, that's it, man. Everybody go enjoy, rest, and relax. Get you guys go rest for the team. Everybody rest today, and then the collective rest. Yeah. Juju will fix whatever the hell was wrong last night, and we just finished this on Monday. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow at noon.
Okay.